Hello, everyone. In this training session, we're going to start with the concept of bank reconciliation. We will look at how it works within the Onfinity system and understand the different methods that are used to perform a bank reconciliation statement. Bank reconciliation is basically matching the transactions that are recorded in our system with what actually shows up on the bank statement. For example, when we make AP payments or receive AR receipts, those transactions are recorded in the system when they happen. Then, at the end of a period or even during the period, we can perform reconciliation by comparing those transactions in the system with the entries that are on the bank statement. The system also lets us post certain expenses that show up directly on the bank statement but are not in our system yet. These could be things like bank charges or interest that the bank debits or credits directly. For example, let's say a vendor payment of 14,800 rupees is recorded in the system as an AP payment. The bank statement shows that same payment, but it also has an extra 40 rupees as a bank charge. We'll go over how to record that extra charge in the system. Another example is when we receive a customer payment of 120,000 rupees and record it in the system as an AR receipt. The bank statement also shows that same deposit. We'll see how to reconcile those. Similarly, if the bank statement shows a debit of 460 rupees as a monthly bank charge, and there's no record of that in the system, we'll also learn how to record that charge. So, those are some different scenarios where we might need to reconcile. To actually do the reconciliation, the system gives us two main options. First, there's the banking journal screen, where we can manually create records and reconcile them. Second, there's the bank statement form, which is designed to help automate the process and make it easier. It lets us upload the bank statement and reconcile directly from that. We're going to start by looking at the banking journal. Let's jump into the Onfinity system and see how to perform reconciliation using the banking journal. This is the login screen. To get to the banking journal, I can either search for banking journal in the menu using the search function, or I can go to the financial management module, then bank and cash management, and then banking journal. The banking journal screen is where we record all of the bank-related transactions that we're going to reconcile with the actual bank statements. On the dashboard, we can see bank balances, upload bank statements using the DMS, and also view the bank charge summary. To create a new record, we click on New Record. This opens up a different view, which is the single record view. Here, if we have multiple organizations set up, we first need to select the organization that the bank account belongs to. Then, the document number will automatically generate, and I select the bank account that I'm reconciling the bank statement for. Next, we have the statement date. This is the date that we're reconciling the bank statement up to. I can also choose the previous date that reconciliation was already completed to. For example, I could choose June 30th, 2025 as the statement date. The name field automatically fills in based on today's date, but I can change it. For example, to Bank Statement 2025. I can also add a description if I need to. Once I've done this, I save the record. Now, the banking journal header is created. At this point, there aren't any journal lines yet, so I need to create them. There's an option called Create Lines From. When I click on that, a pop-up shows all of the transactions that are related to this specific bank account. For example, it might show a receipt of 120,000 rupees on June 17th, a payment of 20,000 rupees on June 17th to a vendor, another payment of 600 rupees to another party. All of these transactions are either AP payments or AR receipts. If the amount is positive, it's an AR receipt, and if it's negative, it's an AP payment. There are also filters available in this pop-up window. I can filter by business partner name, document number, amount, date, deposit slip number, check number, authentication code, or transaction number. The idea behind the Create Lines From screen is straightforward. All entries that have already been recorded in the system as AP payments or AR receipts will show up here. For example, let's say I issued a check for 20,000 rupees to a vendor, and it was recorded in the system as an AP payment. But the vendor hasn't cashed it yet, so it doesn't show up on the bank statement. In cases like this, I can ignore those uncleared entries and select only the ones that actually match the bank statement. I can also filter to show only the cleared transactions. I can then select several lines at once and click OK to generate those into the journal. Or, if I prefer, I can go to Journal Lines, click New Record, enter the statement date, the statement amount, and then select the reference to an existing payment in the system. For example, let's say there's a statement line dated June 25th with an amount of 800 rupees as a receipt. I can select the reference of a payment in the system that matches that. The system will automatically fill in the transaction number. If there's no difference between the amounts, it gets posted directly. However, let's say the actual bank statement shows 790 rupees, but the system shows 800 rupees. That means there's a difference of 10 rupees. In this situation, I can post that difference as a charge. For example, a bank charge. I select the charge, choose the correct tax category and tax rate, and the system will post the 10 rupee difference accordingly. There are also other fields available like invoice reference, order number, and cash journal line. These are used for different kinds of reconciliation. For instance, I could directly reconcile against an invoice, link prepaid orders, or match cash journal entries with contra entries. Once the reconciliation is finished, all of the journal lines for that period have been created. Then, I can click Complete Record, and the system will post the reconciled transactions into the appropriate ledger accounts. There's another scenario to consider. Sometimes the bank statement will include entries that aren't in the system yet. For example, let's say 400 rupees is deducted as monthly bank charges. I can create a statement line with the correct date, enter -400 as the amount, and post it as a bank charge with the appropriate tax. If tax applies, for example, 19% VAT, the system will split it, treating 63.87 rupees as a tax credit and the rest as the charge. If no tax applies, I just select Tax Exempt. Similarly, if I received 1,000 rupees as interest credit in the bank account, I enter 1,000 rupees as a positive amount. Instead of posting it as a charge, I can directly select Interest and post it to the interest account. Another way to do this is to create a charge type specifically for interest income and post it through the charge master. That's how we post and reconcile transactions using the banking journal screen in Onfinity. After all the records for the period have been reconciled, we complete the record and the system finalizes the posting. That concludes this session. Thank you for attending.